Hello and welcome to the guest on CRTV News. The government of Cameroon has decided to distribute free mosquito nets across the country in order to fight malaria. And so on our guest today, we have the permanent secretary of the National Malaria Control Program, Dr. Forsah Dorothy, with whom we are going to discuss on how effective treated mosquito bed nets are in the fight against malaria. Hello, doctor, and welcome to the program.
Hello, and thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. So I'd like you to tell us why we keep insisting in the use of mosquito bed nets, knowing fully well that Cameroonians do not love this idea.
Yeah, thank you for that question. Actually, the first thing we have to ask ourselves is what is the cause of malaria and how bad people can perceive the disease. And today we know that malaria is one of the leading causes for mortality, especially in children, and it's a great cause of economic loss in our country because people absent from work, people absent from school, people lose money to treat malaria and lose working hours that would have brought income to various companies just because they are sick. So when you put all of this together, we realize that it's a serious problem. The question is, how do we solve this? Malaria, we know, is transmitted by a mosquito, and it happens that this mosquito, the Anopheles, the female Anopheles, bites at night. So we will ask the question, what do we do to prevent the bites of the mosquito? And there you go, you have your answer. You could give me many answers, but we will say from the different options we have today, we have the bed net, which has proven to be the most cost effective. And then we have other ways of fighting the vector, but this is the most cost effective for now.
So let's now talk about the distribution of the mosquito bed nets. My worry has to do with those in the rural areas. Accessibility to these areas are not quite the best. So are they also going to benefit from this, knowing fully well that malaria is more prevalent in rural areas?
Of course. We are targeting everybody. We are targeting the entire 25 million Cameroonians. And to do this, we had to do a lot of planning, and we needed to involve the local authorities in not only mobilizing the population to let them know, but also using the population to be able to identify all the households. So prior to the real distribution of the nets, we move from door to door, house to house. The agents, the household census agents, move from home to home, identifying the number of inhabitants in each home and allocating bed nets to each of them. So because this census agents belong to their communities, they are sure to identify all the households in those communities. And then we collect the information and then we send the nets down to the field.
So after the distribution, what next? Is there any follow-up that will be made to ensure that the Cameroonians use mosquito nets or try to prevent malaria?
Yes, the communication campaign is ongoing during the distribution, but also after the distribution, we have routine and we have planned a sequence of programs and activities to keep contact with the population and make sure that they don't only hang up their nets after distribution, but they sleep under them every night.
Okay, the number of deaths due to malaria in Cameroon has dropped from 18% to 12% in 3 years. So is there anything you can say as the permanent secretary of the National Program for the Fight Against Malaria? How has it been fighting malaria in Cameroon?
It's generally been very, I would say, fulfilling, because malaria is one of those illnesses that you get the results when you put in the resources. So when we deploy all our interventions in the field, like the bed nets, we are the third campaign. So we've had 2 other campaigns in 2011 and 2015. And each time we do a campaign and each time we boost activities in health facilities to be able to decrease deaths from malaria, we notice a constant drop. So as you've said yourself, we've noticed a drop by 30% over the last 5 years. And unfortunately, this last 2 years, the fight is stalling because the resources are not enough, but also the uptake of what we have out there is not the best. So we really need to keep, contact with the population, make sure we are on time with the renewal of all the vector control measures, and make sure that everybody who is having a case of malaria is properly treated to prevent severe cases and deaths.
Okay, any last words for Cameroonians to help themselves from having malaria?
So we are inviting everybody, because these nets have costed a lot. Over 35 billion francs CFA has been disbursed by the various partners. So we are actually inviting the entire population to use this opportunity. It's a golden opportunity. We will not have it again for the next 3 years. So to use this opportunity to make sure that all the household members are able to access a bed net and use them effectively every night. That is the first information. So make sure you're counted. Make sure when you receive your coupons or your tickets with your bed nets, you go and collect them and use them properly. And again, we always say this: as soon as a child has a fever, not all fevers are malaria. So when you have a fever, get tested and treated as soon as possible, either at the health facility, or if you have a community health worker, you visit the community health worker.
Yes, doctor, it's always advisable to go for checkup when you start seeing symptoms of any disease. Even if it's not that disease, go for checkup. Thank you very much, Dr. Forsah, and we hope to have you for more programs on CRTV News.
Thank you very much.
That was it on our guest today. Stay tuned for more interesting programs on CRTV News.